Afternoon, Mr. Young.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Can you hear me okay?
I can.
Thanks for all your help when I come in by my phone. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Good afternoon, Mr. Young.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you? I sound okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. If everybody can come on up. See something. Wait 1 second, please. Okay. Open the blind. Okay. Okay, Mr. Young, can you start the recording, please? Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are convening and broadcasting this public meeting by video conferencing. My name is Anthony Hood. Joining me are Vice Chair Miller, Commissioners Imamura, Wright, and Stidham. We're also joined by the Office of Zoning staff, Ms. Sharon Shellam, as well as our Office of Zoning Legal Division. All of our counsel are here, Ms. Lovett, Mr. Liu, and Mr. Ridding. We will ask, and we're also joined by Mr. Paul Young, who's handling all of our virtual operations. And I will ask all others to introduce themselves at the appropriate time if required. Copies of today's meeting agenda are available on the Office of Zoning's website. Please be advised this proceeding is being recorded by a court reporter and is also webcast live via WebEx and YouTube Live. The video will be available on Office of Zoning's website after the meeting. Accordingly, all those listening on WebEx or by phone will be muted during the hearing. For hearing action items, the only documents before us this evening are the application, the ANC set-down report, and the Office of Planning report. All other documents in the record will be reviewed at the time of the hearing. We do not take any public testimony in our public meetings unless the commission requests someone to speak. If you experience difficulty accessing WebEx with your phone call-in, then please call our OZ hotline number at 202-727-0789 for WebEx login or call-in instructions. Before I go to the staff, I do have a preliminary matter. I am going to move first case on our agenda tonight, final action. We're going to actually do that last. I'm going to go through the agenda and we're going to do final action last. Any objections? And that will be Zoning Commission case 2023-081, Wesley Theological Seminary of United Methodist Church, 2025 to 2023 campus plan at Square 1600. All right, with that, Michelle, do you have any preliminary matters?
No preliminary matters.
Okay, well, in that case, let's move right on with our agenda. Time extensions. Zoning Commission case number 16-02E, H&A DCU JV LLC 2-year design review time extension in Square 665. Ms. Shellen, and I'm going to come to Commissioner Imamura first on this one.
Yes, sir. In this case, as you stated, the applicant is requesting a 2-year time extension of the design review approval of Zoning Commission order number 16-02D as in David. They want to construct a mixed-use building on parcel B. So the construction would commence by July 1, 2027. This subject property known as parcel B is currently a vacant lot located in the which was known as Buzzard Point in Southwest DC. It may still be called Buzzard Point, I'm not sure. But so the applicant's justification is that despite their diligent efforts, it's been very difficult to secure private financing needed for the market rate portions of the project. And because of that delay, it caused the lapse in the awarded financing, public financing for all of the affordable senior housing component of the project. And the applicant is now actively, not that they haven't been, but they are actively seeking occupants for the commercial component of the project and are diligently pursuing private and public financing needed, such as there's a new housing production trust fund from DCHD that's available to apply for, low income housing bonds issued by DCHFA, 10-year tax abatement for a portion of the property intended for occupancy by Volunteers of America for their headquarters. Hopefully they're in negotiations with them. At Exhibit 5, there's an OP report that found the extension request satisfies the criteria and the regulations, and they recommend approval. ANC 6D, as of today, had not filed a report in the case record, but the requisite time period has elapsed, and the commission, if it chooses to do so, can proceed with final action. Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to interject and add something. There actually was an ANC 6D report that was filed to the record yesterday. And it is in support. And basically, they asked that the applicant agree in writing that there would be no scooter parking on parcel B. And the applicant agreed to that separately in writing. So I'm just letting you know that that document is in the record. I believe it's at Exhibit 6. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michelle and Ms. Lovick. Colleagues, I believe this meets our requirement under the subtitle Z 705.2. I think Commissioner Moore was having some problems, so I'm gonna go ahead and start us off. Ms. Shelley has really teed this up along with adding the piece on about the ANC, and thank you both. As the applicant stated, despite diligent efforts, as we all know, they've been having some unforeseen issues with financing. And it's all I have to say after all that's been teed up is that I believe it meets our standard of review, subtitle Z 705.2, and I will be voting to approve. Any objections? Any objections? Not seeing any. Any other comments needed? Anybody? Okay, so with that, I would move that we approve, as stated, zoning commission case for the time extension zoning as requested for the time extension zoning commission case number 16-02E, and ask for a second.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and properly second. Any further discussion?
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Not hearing it. Michelle, would you do a roll call vote, please?
I will. I think that Commissioner Imamura has frozen. Oh, he's back.
He's back.
There we
He's
go,
back.
because we got that delayed response. Okay, so I'm going to do a roll call. Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Stidham,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Imamura, Commissioner Imamura. Maybe a thumbs up.
I think he's delayed, or maybe he's not.
I saw
There he is.
I saw a movement for a second.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
there we go. Okay, so staff requests the vote
Yes.
5-0. Yes, there we go. 5-0 to approve final action in zoning commission
Yes.
case number 16-02E. And can this have a summary order? This was Hillary's case. OZLD commission or Ms. Lovick, can this have a summary order issued?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Chairman Hood, that's okay?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Okay.
according to the commission, unless I have any objections, that's fine, but I'll leave that up to legal division. If they can do a summary, that's great.
Okay, so if they could submit a draft order in 2 weeks, that'd be great. Thank you.
I'll leave that up to our council. That's what I mean. What I say, the commission. It's already up to the commission. All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's move. I'm going to try to go to Commissioner Moore this time, but I think he's having a delay, so we can work through that. Don't log off because we don't want to lose you. Let's go to zoning commission case number 04-14I, Florida Rock Properties Incorporated 10-year time extension to zoning commission order number 04-14D to file building permit to the marina design review portion of the project, square 708. Before I go to Michelle, and I'm going to first, after Michelle finishes, I'm going to go to Commissioner Wright. Michelle?
Sure. So at the last meeting, May 29th, the commission was a little hesitant about the request for a 10-year extension and asked them to go back, the applicant to go back. And so the applicant to reconsider maybe a different time period. So they went back and submitted a supplemental statement at exhibits 5 and 5A, reducing the time to 6 years. So you have that, and that would change the time period to May 26, 2031, and commencing construction on a year later, May 26, 2032. And then that is, as of today, I don't believe we have an ANC report. I checked about 2 hours ago. But OP had previously provided their report and they were okay with the 10-year extension. And I don't believe they've provided anything additional, but you had already received that. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Colleagues, you know, this was troubled us as we were requested to do the 10-year time extension, and we had some reservations. So let's continue that discussion, and we know now what's being proposed. So I'm going to start off with Commissioner Wright.
Thank you, and I hope you can hear me. I'm having some technical difficulties as well, but I appreciate that the applicant went back and sort of sharpened their pencil a little bit on what their schedule would be. And they have presented a fairly, I think, detailed response about how long it's going to take to build the 2 recently approved buildings and to finish those phases of the project and then move on to the marina portion. And they are, and based on that, they changed their request from 10 years to 6 years. They also verified, and I appreciated this because I know it was something that we were concerned about, that all of the improvements along the waterfront that we had seen when we approved the recent amendments for the final 2 phases of the buildings, that those are going to be built and that is not delayed or connected with the marina project. They will be doing the improvements along the waterfront. And really, based on that, you know, I think they're trying to be realistic and not spend their time and our time coming back frequently for extensions when they know it's going to take them about 6 years to get to this project, given the other construction that they're going to be doing on the site. So I think that the 6-year proposal is something I can support, and I think it's realistic.
Thank you, Commissioner Wright, for teeing that up. Let's see if any other comments or questions. Let me just say I would agree and echo everything that you said. I would agree and can support what's being asked of us now. Commissioner Moore. Just give him a few minutes, I think he's on delay. Okay. Can you hear me, Commissioner Moore? All right, let's go to Commissioner Stidham. Commissioner Stidham?
Thank you, Chairman. I'm having
Okay.
issues with
Yeah.
Commissioner
That's
Wright.
all right.
For the 6 that's rights.
So Commissioner Moore, you may want to, when you get this message, because it's going to be a minute, you may want to log off and come back on, because I think that'll solve the problem. Because you're real delayed and we're not hearing anything you're saying. It's chopping up. So why don't we give you a minute to log off and come back on? It'll probably be a minute before he gets this. Yeah, it's a delay. Let's just give him a minute. Meanwhile, Commissioner Wright, did you have any problems getting on it today?
Yes, I have.
Oh,
and-
okay. Well,
But
I like to keep good company because I had problems too.
yeah, I'm on via my phone right now. I had
Oh.
trouble getting on my computer and trying to figure out if the problem is my computer or WebEx. WebEx seems to be very touchy these days.
Yeah, it is. It kept telling me I was already in the meeting and I couldn't get in.
But it seems to evenly distribute their problems to each of us, because I'm not having any problems today. I shouldn't have said that, because I probably will now.
You'll jinx yourself.
And you're normally the one that has all the problems, so it's a gift.
Yep. Never know. Paul, you think you may be able to call Commissioner Moore and maybe see if he needs some assistance? But he's tech savvy. He's not like I am. Okay, he's gone now, so he'll come back. You good?
I'm good. Sorry.
Okay,
Even his
good.
picture is better, because his
Okay,
picture
good.
was fuzzy before, so all of
Okay.
it's good now.
My apologies. I know that's frustrating.
No problem. Commissioner, you'll be happy to know it's a number of us that have problems. So Commissioner Moore, you made some comments on that case. Florida Rock, did you?
I was trying to be brief, Mr. Chairman, and just say that I agree with Commissioner Wright, and I think that's what I'll stick with.
Okay, great. Thank you. Commissioner Stidham?
I do appreciate the applicant's further justification related to the time frame. We didn't have that information when we originally were looking at this case, so the extra detail is really helpful. While I would prefer a shorter time frame, like less than 5 years, because this has been on the books for a long time. And I can live with and can support the 6-year time period.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Miller?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I generally agree with the comments of each of my colleagues. I like Commissioner Stidham, I would have preferred a shorter time frame for the at least the beginning of the construction of the marina. I think the marina always was envisioned as being done in phases anyway, but the public pier portion was going to be done, the fixed pier was going to be done first. And, you know, I'm willing to go along with the 6-year time extension, but given what we're seeing with other time extensions, even today by the same attorneys representing a different applicant, where private financing of housing is difficult in the current market. So we're delaying the marina, the public marina, or a public portion of the marina for housing, much of which would be affordable. But there's a difficulty in the market right now for housing. So maybe it's the time to build the public pier, at least the fixed public pier part of the marina. Maybe not all the private piers, the floating piers, although they were going to be accessible by the public as well. And originally this was phased to be between phases 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. We don't want to, we're allowing 3 and 4 to go ahead of the marina by, if we take action today to approve this time extension. But I'm concerned that we're going to have a time extension on the phases 3 and 4, given the current market. And although we're all hopeful that it will change and get better, the city made an incredible, well, the public made an incredible investment in the South Capitol Bridge, the Frederick Douglass Bridge, and the South Capitol Oval. That's what the marina originally was waiting for. I will support going along with the 6-year time extension, but I would encourage the applicant, if there is difficulty in securing financing, please proceed as originally planned with the public portion of the marina, the fixed pier, so that it can have access from the esplanades that the applicant has beautifully already built there along the waterfront. Even though that's just part of phases 1 and 2, there'll be greater access once 3 and 4 are built. But we've seen a number of time extensions, modifications, changes to this project over the 24 years since its original application. And there were 6 years on before that. There was an earlier version as well. So I really would encourage that the applicant to proceed with at least the fixed pier while they're trying to seek financing for the housing. They'll be able to get, hopefully, as we've seen, public financing for the affordable housing. But if they're having difficulty securing all of the financing, they should proceed with what's originally planned, at least for the public portion, that would activate the waterfront even more than they already have done so. So that's just my encouragement, Mr. Chairman, to the applicant.
So let me ask my colleagues. So I know where Commissioner Wright and Commissioner Emo and myself are, but I also know where Commissioner Stidham, and I've heard the Vice Chair loud and clear. Do we want to go back at the applicant and see if they can pivot and I like using that word now, pivot, what Vice Chair Miller was speaking of, and I think Commissioner Stidham. So I don't know if you are, is that any interest? Let me go to Commissioner Wright and Commissioner Moore, of what we heard from our colleagues. Any interest, Commissioner Wright?
No, I really think we need to move forward with this case and this extension at this time. I think they've given us the information they can. I mean, I would point out, I don't know the financial structure of this project. I don't have, any inside information, but the reality is to build the marina, they need financing for that too. I don't think there is a pot of money that's been sitting there waiting to spend to build this public amenity that is part of the overall project. So if there are financing problems today, which, we're hearing that with many different projects, I don't think it's a matter of them saying, well, we'll figure out how to get the money to build the marina now and we'll delay the housing. I think if there are financing problems, there will be financing problems with all elements of the project. So I just don't think that by changing a extension time period, we're going to be able to leverage them to build something that they either may not have the financing to build or that they think is not in the best sort of orderly development of their project.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Moore, you want to add to that or opine on that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I'll try to be brief just because of connectivity issues. Earlier, my comment really was that I still had some heartburn over the 6 years, but I thought Commissioner Wright made a very good point that this is something that, if the applicant would have probably come back with a shorter time frame if it were realistic. And so I agree that we should probably move forward. To your point, Mr. Chairman, about pivoting and seeing if the applicant will come back again, I think if they could, they would have already proffered that. And so I'm comfortable moving forward with it, but certainly appreciate and share the same concerns that Vice Chair Miller and Commissioner Stidham have.
Okay. All right. Commissioner Stidham and Vice Chair Miller, you have anything to add? We know where you all are. I think you all will support it as it is, but I was just seeing if we wanted to try one more time. And I think Commissioner Moore brings up a good point. I would have hoped they would have exhausted all that about pivoting and making the changes if necessary. And I think if they had that, they would have. I think maybe this is the best offer they can do at this time. So I'll leave it at that. Any other questions? Commissioner Stidham, Vice Chair Miller, we're good. All right. Commissioner Wright, would you like to make a motion, please?
Yes, I would be happy to. I move that we approve zoning case number 04-14I, Florida Rock Properties, Inc. for a 6-year time extension to Zoning Commission Order number 04-14D to file building permit for the marina, the design review portion of the project at Square 708.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and probably second. Any further discussion? All right, Michelle, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Imamura,
Yes.
Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
and Commissioner Stidham.
Yes.
The vote is 5-0 to approve Zoning Commission case number 04-14I for a 6-year time period as discussed on the dais, and also a summary order for this in 2 weeks. Who is the attorney on this one? Jake?
You're on mute, Mr. Reddick.
Sorry. I think a summary order would be appropriate. And since I've got the opportunity, I just wanted to clarify that motion should also include the waiver to allow the longer time period than required by the zoning regulations.
Thank, that would be incorporated in my motion.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Understood. Thank you, Mr. Reddick. All right, we ready to move on, Michelle? All right, let's go to hearing action. Zoning Commission case number 25-08, Office of Planning text amendment to update the residential apartments, the RA1 zones. And again, I want to thank Office of Planning for even bringing this. This has been a long time coming. I appreciate the Office of Planning bringing this forward. So, Mr. Beeman.
Okay. Yes, good evening. And yes, as you mentioned, Chair Hood, this has been a long time coming, so we're happy to be here presenting this to you all. So good evening, Commissioners and Chair Hood. My name is Shepard Beeman. I'm with the Office of Planning. I'm joined by Michael Yorkovich, also with OP. OP recommends that the Zoning Commission set down ZC 25-08 for a public hearing. As requested by the Zoning Commission, OP has filed this petition for a zoning text amendment to amend the RA1 residential apartment zoning requirements. Next slide, please. So the RA1 zone is intended to permit low to moderate density residential development. Currently, new row homes, flats, multifamily residential buildings, in additions to multifamily buildings are required to have BZA approval before obtaining a permit. And if we look at the map here, we'll see that RA1 is scattered throughout the district, but the primary concentrations are within Wards 7 and 8. Next slide, please. So the goals of this text amendment include refinement of the current RA1 zoning development standards to allow uses and expansions permitted by right that are unlikely to have substantial impacts on the character or context of the surrounding area, to clarify application and BZA review criteria, to reduce the number of BZA applications for smaller or less intense proposals, and to address concerns identified by the ANCs, by the community, and by BZA members. And with that, I'll turn it over to Michael. Next slide, sorry.
Yeah, again, this is Mike Yurkovich with OP. First of the two development requirements we're proposing to change in the RA1 zone is a introduction of minimum lot requirements through lot dimensions being a minimum lot area of 1,800 square feet and a minimum lot width of 18 feet, while now allowing opt-in of voluntary IZ developments by right, while currently this is also requiring a special exception. Next slide, please. The other change we are proposing the development requirements is to the required side yards. Currently, side yards are determined by building type and by the number of units per floor. We propose to keep the minimum side yards at 8 feet when applicable, but instead require new construction containing 5 or more units to maintain 2 side yards, thereby requiring new apartment construction to be detached buildings. Next slide, please. The next 2 slides will talk about the use permissions for the RA1 zone. Currently, only detached and semi-detached dwellings of 1 or 2 units are allowed by right, while new row buildings, as Shepard just mentioned, as well as apartment houses, are required to pursue the special exception. We were proposing to allow all detached, semi-detached, and row building developments of up to 4 units by right, while all new apartment buildings of 5 units or more would still be required to pursue the special exception for their use. Next slide, please. Additionally, we're proposing limited expansions of existing apartment houses. Structural expansions would be required to maintain their existing unit counts, while renovations may convert spaces not currently used for dwelling units into such units through some examples of what the BZA typically approves that would fit this category would be cellar excavations. It's a pretty common request. And I'll turn it back over to Shepard on the next slide.
So looking at U421, this section has BZA requirements and standards for new residential development in the RA1 zone currently. OP proposes refining and expanding on the current applicant submittal requirements to include sufficient information about the proposal and potential impacts on adjacent properties. OP also recommends requiring site plan review for larger projects measuring over 20,000 square feet and clarification of the BZA's authority over special treatment for certain projects. Next slide. Also under U421, OP no longer recommends BZA review new residential development, but instead residential development that does not meet the criteria for permitted uses and development standards. So anything that does not meet either U401 or F202 will still be subject to BZA review. Next slide. And then lastly, OP proposes adding filing requirements for larger sites or projects, again, projects with more than one principal dwelling seeking relief, including additional plans and a statement on how the new development could impact adjacent properties. And next slide.
So yeah, this text amendment was evaluated using the Commission's racial equity tool and found that the proposal would not be inconsistent with a comprehensive plan included when viewed through a racial equity lens. The amendment would help further policies related to equity, such as preserving existing housing, infill development, and finding new ways to accommodate housing in existing neighborhoods. Regarding the Commission's evaluation factors, given the RA1 zone's location throughout the district, the amendments should not impact access to opportunity and instead would allow property owners more opportunity for reasonable expansions or redevelopments of their properties by right, while maintaining the public process through special exception for the larger, more intense developments. OP does not anticipate any other significant impacts from these changes. Next slide, please. In terms of community outreach, OP conducted several virtual open houses with the ANCs earlier this year in January. We received generally positive feedback on the direction of our proposal. Additionally, we have a project website and a dedicated email, which we have used to field various questions from ANC members, or commissioners, sorry. In summary, OP recommends that the Commission set down the application for public hearing. Thank you, and we're here to answer any questions.
Thank you both, Mr. Jurkovich and Mr. Beeman. This must have been, took a lot of time, but I see we got two people that worked on this RA1. Let me just ask this question first, and I appreciate all the work you've done. I want to make sure that I saw on the outreach that you all reached out. Sorry about that. I want to make sure that you all did. I saw you had an outreach or something, I think the Ward 7 and 8. Some of the cases that I remember, and I'm not sure if we can do this, and I'm sure Ms. Lovett somehow will let me know. But one of the things I would ask the Office of Planning is to also reach out to some of those past cases that we had problems with and issues in the RA1. Even though I'm not sure what has been done with them now, they maybe all be done. But how we can better write these regulations for me is to look at our past experience. Now, let me ask this first. Did you all do that? Did you all look at some of the past? Oh, you did that. Okay. I just want to make sure, especially some of the folks in Ward 4, where we had some of the major issues. And we had it citywide, but especially in Ward 4, I know one particular, which I tried to sua sponte. But then either way, I just want to make sure that we've done our due diligence, especially looking at our past practice. But I guess I'm sure you all are experts in planning, so I know you've already done that. I'm looking forward to having this discussion. And I heard about Matter Right. I want to make sure that we do the necessary discovery when these type of proposals come in front of the Commission and in front of the BZA, and give them the tools that they need to be able to have better decisions and better outcomes. So that's all I had to say on that. Looking forward to discussion. Hopefully we'll set this down. Let me hear what others have to say. Commissioner Wright.
I am happy to set this down and have an opportunity to have a public hearing on it. I do have a few questions and would appreciate when we get to the public hearing and maybe it's consistent with what the chair is saying, a few actual examples that you could share with us in your presentation about cases that perhaps had to go through the BZA, but now would not have to go through the BZA, some real life examples of projects that would have an easier path to approval, given this. I mean, I'm all for making it easier to build more housing in the district. We all know housing is a critical issue. And it sounds like this is part of the goal of this particular text amendment. So I'm absolutely happy with setting it down. And I just would say when we get to the actual, excuse me, public hearing, some case studies or real life examples that you could include in the presentation would be helpful.
Okay. Commissioner Moore, any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, again, I in general, I think some examples that led to this proposal would be this down, and I think that it's always a good thing to make more regulations better public, and so I mean you use the language and regulations I think are is always better and needed. So thank you very much for both of you, as the chairman said, working on this. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Stidham.
Sorry about that. I had trouble getting off mute. I agree with the comments of my other fellow commissioners and support setting this down.
And Vice Chair Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I also appreciate the comments of my colleagues and support setting this down for a public hearing. And to the extent that we are making matter of right cases that really were a burden upon the ANC and the BZA to hear. I think that the analysis that was requested by Commissioner Wright would be helpful to see how many cases would have been affected in one way or the other in the past few years. I just had a question. So I appreciate all the work of the Office of Planning in bringing this forward. I know it's been a long time coming on a very huge work list that we and others have, the mayor and others have given, the public has given to you. Just remind me, and I think it's in your report, but remind me what the FAR permission is in the RA1 zone, which isn't being changed, as I understand it, by this current proposal, although apparently one ANC commissioner or somebody in the public comment recommended that you look at that, increasing the density. But just remind me what the FAR permission density is in the RA1 zone versus the RA2 zone. Just, I could look that up, but I didn't.
I can tell you for, it starts at 0.9, and then just let me double check on what the limit is for an inclusionary zoning development, but I believe so.
You know, I don't need that now.
Actually, I can tell you, it's 1.08 for the RA1 zone for an IZ development. And for the RA2 zone, it's 2.16. And for just a regular, like non-IZ development in the RA2 zone, it's 1.8.
Thank you, Ms. Lovick. I appreciate you bringing that forward.
There we go.
And I think
Sorry, Zoning Commission. We too are also getting the technical difficulties bug. But to answer your question, for the majority, all other structures besides a public library, RA1 is 0.9, while RA2 is 1.8.
so it's about double.
Yeah.
And you did get one recommendation, I guess, in your public outreach for that, and you decided not to include it in your proposal at this time. Can you just give us some further elaboration on that now or at the public hearing?
I think we can address that for the public hearing, though, when we evaluate more of the comments that we've received from the ANCs.
Okay, I think I heard the technically challenged response. So I'm ready to move forward, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Again, thank you, Mr. Jurgovich and Mr. Beeman, for all the work that you all put into it. And I'm looking forward to having this hearing and try to flush out some of the issues and see where we go from there, especially taking the comments of my colleagues. So would somebody like to make a motion to set that down? Commissioner Stidham, you'd like to make a motion? Okay, Commissioner Wright, you spoke up. Go right ahead.
I'm happy to give someone else the honor, but I'm happy also to make a motion that we set down zoning case number 25-08, Office of Planning, text amendment to update the residential apartment RA1 zone, and that we set that down for public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. Any further discussion? Not hearing Ms. Shelley, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Sure. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Stidham,
Yes.
Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Imamura.
Yes.
The vote is 5-0 to set down zoning commission case number 25-08 as a rulemaking case. Thank you.
I wonder you didn't respond because I had myself on mute. Ms. Shelley, we just have one additional item left on the agenda, correct?
That's not always the reason why I don't respond, but that is correct. One case.
Okay. So colleagues, with this case, we have final actions on the commission case number 23-081, Wesley Theological Seminary United Methodist Church. I wanted to move that last because I wanted to go into the emergency closed session. And I would ask for your support on that. I want to do a vote on it. We have to vote first, and then we will go to emergency closed session to get legal advice from my counsel. And let me read the statement. As chairman of the Zoning Commission for the District of Columbia, and in accordance with 405 and 406 of the District of Columbia Administrative Procedures Act, I move that the Zoning Commission hold a closed emergency meeting on June the 12th, 2025, with regard to Zoning Commission case number 23-081, the Wesley Theological Seminary of United Methodist Church, I'm sorry, not United States, United Methodist Church, 2025 through 2035 campus plan is square 1600, pursuant to DC Official Code 2-575B4 and 2-575B13 for the purpose of seeking legal advice from our counsel and or deliberating but not voting upon the cases for the reasons cited in the Open Meetings Act. Is there a second?
Second.
Will the secretary please do a roll call with the motion being for us now that has been seconded?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Stidham,
Yes.
Commissioner Imamura.
Yes.
The vote, Chairman Hood, is 5-0 to go into the emergency closed meeting.
Okay, I was hesitant because I know we've been having some challenges, but I believe it's going to all work out. As it appears the motion has passed, I hereby give notice that the zoning commission will recess for this proceeding on this date, June 12th, 2025 at 4:51 p.m. to hold a closed emergency meeting via WebEx. Sorry for the inconvenience, but we should be back as soon as possible. Thank you. Ms. Shelton, will that be provided to us?
Yes, sir. Mr. Young will provide that link to you via email.
Okay, if anybody has any problems, just let us know. So let's try to get over without any problems. That's the goal.
Thank you. Mr. Young, do they have to exit out of this meeting? Because I'm not sure they can be in two at the same
No,
time.
they don't. They can stay in here. Just shut your camera off.
Okay,
You can stay in here. Whoever's still in here, just stay in here and
okay. You
shut your
haven't sent
camera
the
off.
invite yet because I haven't seen it.
I did send it.
Okay, I didn't get it yet. Okay, thank you. So turn the camera
What?
off.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Gwen, your camera is still on.
Mr. Young? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Thank you. Mr. Young, can you bring up Mr. Brown and also NLC and the and Spring Valley Wesley Heights Citizens Association? Can you bring them up? And I'm going to ask them to stay muted for a moment, please. Okay, we all are here. Okay, I'm going to call this meeting back to order. We have just finished our emergency meeting as we got advice from our council. So just calling this back to order. I'm going to ask Mr. Brown, if you could come up, Mr. Brown, and introduce yourself and turn your camera. I have a question for you, please. Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown, are you available?
He just unmuted, so he should be able to speak now. If he can turn his camera on, is that what you want?
And again, let me just say that trying to make sure these closed meetings, there was no vote taken. We just discussed a process. And again, that's always open to the public. Mr. Brown, good evening. Can you hear me, Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown, can you hear me?
Chairman Hood, can you hear me?
I can
Can't
hear
hear
you.
you.
Okay, that's not a good sign.
And my camera is on.
I can't hear you.
So
You
we
may
can
need to-
hear him, but he can't hear us.
But I have a question to ask him, so that's not
Yeah.
enough.
He may need to turn the volume up on his computer.
Can you, still can't hear you.
Well, we can hear you. You may need to log off and come back on quickly.
I'll try sending him an email too.
Okay. Or ask him, maybe Mr. Young can help him if he gets the number.
I can't hear you. Yes, David?
They can hear you.
I can't hear them.
Don't say nothing bad about us, but tell David, tell him we can hear him.
What did they say?
Yes, it's not the confessional.
I'm gonna log off and log back on.
That's their suggestion.
All right.
All right, let's give him a moment to come back.
Aaron, if he still has issues when he gets back on, you can email him my cell phone number.
Will do.
Chairman Hood, can you hear me now?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Chairman Hood. Thank you. Apologies.
No problem, no problem. Let me say, first of all, good afternoon, good evening. We're almost there. Mr. Brown, you know, there were some motions filed. I just want to ask you, in this record, in this current record, is there a CTR? Did you provide a CTR to this record?
The CTR in the current case, the CTR was filed as part of the accompanying PUD, Exhibit 14A, and then was subject to the hearing that occurred on September 11th and then October 2nd, 2023.
So, Mr. Brown, you did not file a CTR for this record?
Not specifically in 23081 that I can find in the record.
Well, I didn't see one. We have not been able to find one. That's why I wanted you to point us to the CTR. So since we do not, there's been an assertion, a motion about, as you know, about the CTR, which we need to make sure that we take and work through things. I think that's a valid point. That's a miss. And that needs to be filed. If we ask you for a CTR, how soon can you get us one?
As soon as we're finished today.
That's that. You know what? First you was going downhill, but now you're going uphill. We would like to move expeditiously to process and do what we need to do so we can deliberate and hopefully get to a vote. But so what I would like for you to do is work out a schedule with Michelle. But first, I have a couple of motions that we're going to have to deal with, and I would ask Commissioner Wright to lead us on that. Let me go to Commissioner Wright.
Thank you. In the case of zoning case number 23081, Wesley Theological Seminary of the United Methodist Church, 2025 to 2035 campus plan at Square 1600. We have received 3 motions from the NLC SVW HCA. What I will just note have been the community groups that have been in opposition to this case. And they have asked for 3 actions by the Zoning Commission. So on the first one, they have asked for a motion to continue the hearing for further discussion of the offsite IZ issue. I move that we deny that request because IZ requirements are triggered by the university housing building, not the campus plan. And the potential offsite IZ conditions should not be addressed until further processing. The campus plan only authorizes a conceptual long-term plan for educational use on a campus and does not authorize construction of any specific building. So on that request and motion, I recommend and move that the commission deny that particular motion. The second,
Are you gonna, you
I'm
gonna do
going
them
to
in
just do all
batch?
three. Yeah,
Okay.
and the second motion that the NLC SVW HCA community group made was to hold a continued hearing to allow cross-examination of Wesley regarding its proposed campus plan conditions. And I include in my motion that we deny that because the commission's role is to decide the appropriate conditions of approval for the final campus plan. We may have had some proposed conditions submitted by the applicant, but it is the zoning commission's role to actually decide the appropriate conditions and to address any concerns on conditions in the campus plan. Finally, the third motion that the NLC SVW HCA made was to hold a continued hearing to discuss only an updated CTR that would need to be submitted by Wesley, by the applicant. And I, as part of my motion, recommend that we approve that and that we do hold a continued hearing that would be very limited in scope. It would only be to review the updated CTR that we hope the applicant can submit as soon as possible, and for all parties to do their cross-examination. But I, again, want to emphasize that the hearing would solely be limited to discussion of the CTR and no other issues. So that is my motion, and I'll see if anyone agrees with it.
It's been moved. I will second it exactly how she quoted it. And let's see. It's been moved and probably second. Is there any further discussion? I just will, as a second of the motion, I just want to reiterate what Commissioner Wright mentioned about the CTR only. And that's how that hearing will be moving forward. So with that, no further discussion. Ms. Shelling, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
Commissioner Hood,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Stidham,
Yes.
Commissioner Imamura.
Yes.
The vote is 5-0 to deny the motion for a further hearing to cross-examine on IZ conditions and campus plan conditions, and to grant a further hearing specifically for the CTR, the updated CTR, by parties only. So it will not be open for public witnesses, just to parties. And we'll discuss dates after that, and we'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay. So that's where we are. Michelle, how fast can we do this? I want to put this, I want Mr. Brown. So he can
Before we set the dates, could I ask for a clarification?
Go ahead.
You refer to the updated CTR. The CTR was done for the original campus plan. It has been updated by virtue of exchanges between us as the applicant and DDOT and supplemental DDOT reports. All the supplemental activity is in the record. The only thing that is not in the record is the original CTR.
So, Mr. Brown, I'm not getting, I don't understand it. You say the CTR is in the record and the updates are in the record, and I just asked you earlier if you could point me to them. We have looked in the
The
record.
CTR is a very specific document. It's dated.
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's dated April 22nd of 2022.
Mr. Brown, we're going back to where we were previously. You want us to deal with this case and go look at another record to get the information. Come
No,
on,
but what I'm saying, Commissioner Hood, is that we worked from the original CTR back in April of 2022, and that was resubmitted in the context of these current proceedings to DDOT, and they reviewed that and updated their reports going forward from that. So there isn't an updated CTR. There is the CTR that was prepared that did not get into 23081's record. It was in the PUD record.
So meanwhile, you know what? It didn't get in there. Let's get it in there, and then you can explain all that with the updates and all that. Put that in. That's all we need. When you come to the hearing, that's all we need. The CTR information with the updates. We don't need to talk about IZ. We don't need to talk about commercial versus edu. We don't want to hear any of that. We just want the CTR.
Very well.
Okay. Put it in this record. Put everything you need to do concerning the CTR with the updates, everything in this record this time.
Well, now all the updates are already in the record. Now I can refile them so that there's in one.
Refile them so they're all in one place.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do
All right.
that.
Okay, Ms. Shellen, how fast can you going to have it into us by tomorrow morning?
If my secretary doesn't quit, I'll have it into you tonight.
Well, hopefully she stays at least to the night.
She's here. She's here.
Okay, good. Well, don't quit, Secretary.
No.
So, Ms. Shellen, let's come up with some dates sooner than later.
Okay, so we just need to do a minimum of 14 days so we can get that email. Well, I have to ask OZLD when they can get me a notice to email out.
I'll do it now.
Okay, so so we should be able to send that out tomorrow, and so the hearing could happen as early as the actually we have it looks like June 30th is open. There's no hearing on June 30th.
So let's do it June 30th. Is everybody good for June 30th?
Yes.
Okay, that's a regular. What day is that on?
You mean July? You mean June 30th? Oh, you want to do it in June? Oh.
That would be well, if you do the hearing notice, if you're doing it now, I don't normally work on Fridays, but I mean, I say I don't normally. That's a lie. I work on Fridays a lot. So I'll just have to make time to do that. And I keep having issues with my video. And send that notice out tomorrow. And then, like I said, the earliest it could happen would be the 27th of June. And it just so happens June 30th is, I have nothing on the agenda for June 30th.
I guess the only problem is that both Dennis and I are out of the office the week prior. So like we can't, I can't prepare, neither of us can prepare a report for June 30th. We can't do the June 30th.
That's all right. We'll be fine.
Chairman Hood, I'm
Okay.
out. I'm not available on June 30th.
Not available June 30th. Okay. What other dates we have? Are you available on the 29th? No, that's a Sunday. John, what other dates do we have in June? If not, let's move to
We
the
have
first.
none in June. And in July, we will have to double up or do an off day.
Is anybody doing anything July the 4th?
Yep. Well, I don't matter, so y'all can do it.
What about the 1st? So, no, not the 1st. What about the 2nd? Does July 2nd work with everybody for everybody?
I can do the 2nd.
I can do the second.
Okay, Commissioner Moore, can you do the second, that Wednesday? And whoever has BZA, we just have to push. They may not even have a hearing that day.
I think that's me.
I think they
But-
don't have one that day.
Okay,
think
so
they
at least
have
you
it.
push them. Push them. All right. so
July
let's-
2nd,
July 2nd,
4 p.m.
4 p.m. Now, Mr. Smith, let me go to Mr. Smith. You have any issue? Well, July the 2nd is the day we're gonna fill that request about the CTR and CTR only. Any issues on that?
I don't see any issue, Mr. Chairman. I think that they will work fine.
Okay, good. All right, Michelle, do we have everything in order? Like
Yes.
dates?
Yes, except, so, just to clarify, we'll just say no later than 3 p.m. tomorrow. Mr. Brown will have that, updated CTR in the record and copies emailed to the parties.
Okay, Ms. Lovett?
Oh, and I was just gonna, and then the parties would have would they have 7 days to respond, to file a submission in response?
That is correct. If they want to file a written response, they may do that. 7 days.
Right, so again, it looks like we're all set. CTR only. My colleagues have anything else? All right, I want to thank everyone for their attention in this matter. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Nice evening.
Thank you all.
Thank you.